Elizabeth. Lovely to see you on this beautiful Saturday morning.
You too, in London.
So it's the perfect day to ask you a few questions about what you're up to these days.
Oh.
So how are you taking your work to support people in these crazy times?
Oh, I love this question, Anke, because this last year has been a gift to me in the sense that, the world has changed. I don't know if anyone's noticed. And, our thinking about our experience in life and thoughts and feelings and anxieties and fears and uncertainties just have never been kind of more on people's radar. And then, we're caring about the people in our lives, or we're working in business and we're seeing our employees struggling, various mental health situations. So it's more visible on our radar that people are struggling. And I have been working and supporting people with that in loads of different ways. And, I've been doing things myself, supporting a lot of teams who are going through, a lot of challenges at work, often many of them extremely overloaded. They're in a key working situation. So bringing them together and supporting them to have team resilience. And so really, as a result of the last year, I've kind of hit on a golden seam of what really helps other people when they're struggling, which is something obviously I've done all my career and especially in business, but it feels like that's become even more needed right now. Not just, my services, but all of our services who are interested in supporting others in some way, whether it's a professional role, coaching, mentoring, counseling, even teaching and nursing even, or whether it's just in our community, because we're more aware of the struggles, I think. And the answer is so simple, and there really is a secret to it. And it's kind of hiding in plain sight. But if more of us had that understanding and awareness of what really works when people help, I'm just so keen to get that kind of message out there. So that's what I've been doing lately is, I've been working with leaders, which is obviously one very helpful and effective route to kind of help them help ground themselves and help others. But I've also set up a couple of programs with Ian Watson where we're looking at training people to be wellbeing ambassadors in their community, in their context, in their organizations. So that's something fresh that's just emerging out of what looks like an obvious need to me.
Yeah, that's wonderful, because so many people, when asked what they're passionate about, helping others, I think, is always the one that comes up right at the top there. So a lot of people are out to help others, but as we all know, it isn't always effective.
Well, you know what I've seen about that? If I think of it like where we've got the most investment, where we care the most, is often where we struggle when others are struggling.
So true.
Where we're most, I know for you it's your dogs, I do. I can make you cry just by saying that, yes. And I know with, my kids, my husband, my close friend, wherever we're invested, we want to help even more. And we ourselves can struggle with their struggle. And absolutely. I think that's one of the things I like to talk to first. Because the big question on that, Anke, is, does that help?
That's the thing. I mean, and I think that is, and I think parents will be the first ones to raise their hand.
Right.
It's especially when you're so emotionally invested, it's so easy to try and look for the shortcut and to do things, and then in the end, it just makes it worse. So you mentioned programs that you're doing with Ian that talk about that.
Absolutely.
So you've shared what inspired you to create those. Now, I know you've got one coming up. So tell me a little bit about that. Who is it for, and why would these people make a really good decision in joining that?
Okay, so it's actually nearly full. So, it's clearly
luxury problem to have.
It is a luxury problem. It's clearly hitting a nerve, and that's the reason why I mentioned that, because people are like, I really, that is what I want to do. And I think there's kind of two parts. It's for anybody who knows deep down that their struggle with someone else's struggle isn't the direction of travel. Mm-hmm. You know, that there's a better way to help than to be anxious, invested, and trying hard with someone else's struggle, which is so easy to get to do. Me too, you know, me too. That there's another place where we can stand, where we are just so much more of service. And that's when we're grounded in our own well-being. Now, look, many of us, and me too again, you know, can kind of get interested in helping almost as a slight distraction from our own worries and troubles. So, you know, this is challenging because what we're saying is, no, don't get distracted over there. Start here, where you start from in your being. Start there first.
And that makes so much sense. Yeah, because there's apparently the flight, fight and freeze reaction. There's another one, and that's go out to help others.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To distract, exactly that. That's a very typical stress response, and a lot of people's first place to go to. So
right.
Yep.
So it's nothing wrong with the fundamental, you know, agape, philia, you know, loving kindness that we all have as human beings for another's suffering. You know, that's healthy. But when we're constantly helping others as a distraction from our own suffering, there's not health in it. There's a sense of kind of, it's almost like any other addiction, really. So this is a challenging message, right? So it's not for everyone. But what I will say is for those people who kind of are onto themselves and know that there's a better way and they really do want to help, go first. Yeah. Go first in your own innate well-being. Learn to ground yourself in that and listen to your own wisdom. And when you have a deep and grounded understanding of your relationship with that, you are so much more of service to others. Two immediate things are possible. One, you're centered, you're grounded, you're clear, you're wise, you can see what's needed. Yeah. Super helpful. Two, you can see clearly the other's wisdom and well-being. The less clouded you are by your own ideas of what they need, you are so much more able to see theirs. And that's what they need. They need in the moment the reassurance of knowing that they have wisdom and well-being too, even if it doesn't look like that right now. And someone just holding the space of that truth is literally the most helpful thing. But there's a paradox. It's difficult to hold that truth. It's not true for you. So that's why we start with go first. And just to bring a metaphor in that Ian and I love to share, you know, when we see someone out there struggling, the two responses are, oh no, oh, get anxious. And then that's like jumping in the water and struggling in the riptide with them, which is not helpful. But the other option is stand on solid ground, see clearly, throw a lifeline from there. How much more of service can we be? And that's really what the program's for. And then to answer your second question is, who is it for? This one seems to be attracting a lot of people who are professional helpers. So there's coaches on there, teachers on there, people whose role it is to deliver well-being or learning and development, or help people realize their potential. So there's a lot of people who work in a context where that is their primary or secondary job, is the well-being or people realizing their well-being. So that seems to be, but it's not exclusive to that. It's really anybody who's called, who feels that I want to master my capacity to be a beacon of light for others and help bring them back home. And if that resonates for you, this program is a game changer. There's the dogs we mentioned.
yeah, there she is. putting order into the front yard. So, although we know that this particular round is almost full, but if somebody still wants to join, what do they need to do?
Okay. Well, look, the great news is on Tuesday, I don't know what date it is, I think it's the 2nd of March,
2nd of March.
We're doing a live webinar with Ian and myself, which is free for about an hour. And, you know, in that session, we'll talk more to this and we'll give some juicy tips. So just even registering for that is you'll get that and you'll be able to be there live, but we'll also record it. So if you're watching this after it's been recorded and done, you can still get that content. So there's a little kind of top-up taster piece there. And then if this is calling to you, we'll once this course is full, which it very nearly is, I think there's a couple of places left, we'll set up a wait list and, you know, for people that are interested in when we run the next round. We're just going to do it responsively to levels of interest. But, you know, what I want to say, Anke, is when I set up the Wisdom and Wellbeing Consultancy with Ian, the vision I had was quite simple. What if everyone in the world was one person away, one click away, one person away from someone who could point them back home?
Yeah.
Just by being their light. See, I don't think there can be enough of us. And however we get there, you come on my program or not, you know, find your own way. But all of us with our little lanterns, no, we can do great work together in our own little worlds. That's what I see. That's what I see as possible. And you get to be part of a community when you join out with us, because we look after you and love you forever.
So we're going to pop the link to the webinar below this video, and also pop the link to the details of the program for those who are interested.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Like I'm kind of imagining the world with all these little lighthouses.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you so much. I really think you've struck a nerve there, and this is going to bring a lot of light to a lot of people.
Thanks, Anke. Lovely to hang out with you.
Bye.